First tonight, police are investigating two tragic incidents, a double shooting followed by a triple shooting. In the first incident, a police reservist attached to the cabinet office was gunned down in a Father's Day robbery. One of the alleged suspects also shot to death in the brazen daytime incident. We've got the details on both. Plus, one people, one Caribbean. The nation's flag carrier touting major success for its direct flight to Montego Bay, Jamaica. And later, while we celebrate and honor fathers across the nation today, we take the time to say a special I love you to the fathers and father figures of the Our News team. The details on these stories and more as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend. We thank you so much for joining us tonight. We want to wish all of the fathers and father figures celebrating this day a very special Happy Father's Day. I'm Megan Shepard. Let's get started. Well, Father's Day marred by a double shooting in what police say was a brazen, broad daylight robbery gone wrong in the heart of the commercial district. The normally quiet Palmdale area echoed with the sounds of gunfire shortly before noon today. When it was over, two men lay dead in the parking lot. A retired reserve officer and one of several men who police say were trying to rob him. Our Danielle Miller was on the scene today.
It was a bloody scene on Sunday afternoon as a police reserve inspector was involved in a double shooting, resulting in him and another victim losing their life. As many fathers were preparing for family luncheons and celebrations, this scene was unfolding in the parking lot of the Palmdale shopping center. Police say the deadly double shooting happened just before noon, as police reservist Lennox Williams was believed to be making a deposit. Police Commissioner Chantal Knowles gave this account to the media of how Williams and a man believed to be the robbery suspect were shot and killed.
Our brief investigation so far tells us that a man who we now identify as a police reserve inspector was at the deposit drop box making a deposit when he was accosted by a group of men. There was an exchange of gunfire resulting in two of them, the police inspector and another man, being shot. They were later confirmed deceased here on the scene. We have no further information at this time, but we are appealing to the public. We know that the other men who accompanied the man who had been shot got into a small white vehicle and left this area. A team of officers are combing the streets of New Providence for any information that can lead to the arrest of those other men. And I'm appealing to the members of the public who may have information as to who they are to turn them in.
Police suspect that four men fled the scene in what they believe is a Japanese model vehicle. The commissioner could not say if they managed to get the cash, but there was no doubt in the message she sent to these men, who are now wanted suspects.
Again, I'm appealing to those who were involved in this incident to please turn yourselves in.
Police did not formally identify the victim on scene, but news of the double shooting and the identity of the reservist spread quickly. The senior transport officer was attached to the cabinet office and an active member of St. Mary the Virgin Anglican Church. Police also never identified the second victim as the shooter. On the scene, his nephew, Richard Stovell, says although one suspect lay dead, he does not see it as swift justice.
I wish it never happened. I wish everybody was still living their life. I don't wish that on nobody. And you know you don't supposed to do eye for an eye, but no, ain't no justice in that.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Prime Minister Philip Davis extending his condolences to the family of Reserve Inspector Lennox Williams. In a statement on X saying, quote, "Our cabinet office family has lost one of its finest sons," end quote. He adds that it is especially painful to lose a man like Lennox, a father, a servant, a protector, on a day meant to honor men like him. The statement continues that his final act, believed to be in service to his church, tells you everything about his character. But the bloodshed did not stop there. Police alerting media to a triple shooting incident just hours later. Shortly after 5 p.m., police confirmed that officers were investigating a shooting in the Cordell Avenue and Palm Beach Street area where 3 persons were shot. One victim succumbed on scene. Another was transported to the hospital, and EMS remained on scene assisting the third. We encourage you to stay tuned to our social media platforms, where we will continue to provide details as they become available. And police are also investigating a traffic fatality that occurred shortly before 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, June 14th. Initial reports indicate that the incident happened in the vicinity of East Street and Robinson Road, involving 2 vehicles. One of the drivers, a 66-year-old man, was taken to the hospital by ambulance, where he later died. There were no visible signs of physical injury to the deceased. Police say an autopsy will be completed to assist in determining the exact cause of death. Well, since its inaugural flight to Montego Bay, Jamaica several months ago, Bahamas Air has strengthened its relationship with officials of the country, sparking unique collaborations. On Saturday, officials of the national flag carrier held a joint press conference with officials of Jamaica's Tourist Board to provide an update on the successes of this partnership thus far. Our Danielle Miller was there.
This is not about the Bahamas or Jamaica. This is about the Bahamas and Jamaica.
That declaration made by Deputy Director General of the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Dr. Kenneth Romer, as he touted the synergy between the two nations since launching Bahamas Air's direct flight to Montego Bay in November of 2024. Deputy Director of Jamaica's Tourist Board with responsibility for marketing, Peter Mullings, noting that the flight is already ahead of initial trajectories. Stakeholders commending the airline for their outstanding efforts, including Chairman of Bahamas Air's board, Tanya Pratt.
I say kudos to all of the persons that made it happen. I speak on behalf of the board of directors, and our DMD will speak on behalf of Bahamas Air, but we pledge our 1,000% towards all of the initiatives that you've planned, that you're going to plan. The opportunities are just, there's no word to express what I see happening as a result of this today.
Deputy Director of USA Sales for Jamaica's Tourist Board, Philip Rose, highlighting that this is larger than regional travel, but just the beginning of global connections.
We don't only want Jamaicans coming to Bahamas and Bahamas going to Jamaica. We're thinking about ways in which to bring long-haul visitors from 5, 6, 7 hours away and say, if you're going to come to the region, spend a few days in the Bahamas, spend a few days in Jamaica, thereby allowing us to curate what is truly a magical and, dare I say, even perfect Caribbean experience.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks so much, Danielle. Well, we are officially 2 weeks into the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, and officials say family island communities are better prepared than ever before. Acting Director of Local Government Donald Roll says stronger collaborations between agencies like the Department of Local Government and the Disaster Risk Management Authority is driving weekly and monthly check-ins to track vulnerabilities across the islands.
I think we are more prepared than we was ever before. We are working closely with DRM, and we are having weekly and monthly meetings to update what's going on throughout the family islands.
But preparation goes beyond coordination. Roll says physical infrastructure is being strengthened as well. He says officials have completed inspections of hurricane shelters throughout the family islands. And while some structures are still receiving backup generators, most are now storm ready. The government is also refining its evacuation strategy, a lesson learned after the devastating impact of Hurricane Dorian.
I think what is happening now that's never happened before, and it happened during Hurricane Dorian, where we would have moved persons from those Southeast islands where they were impacted to Exuma. I think the same process will be taking place, that we move people from those vulnerable islands and those districts to higher grounds and safe places.
Well, for years, there have been concerns surrounding the management of jet ski operations. And now the Department of Transport is seeking to bring structure to the process. Transport Minister JoBeth Colby Davis, along with the Port Department and law enforcement representatives, did a walkthrough on Goodman's Bay, where tents were erected identifying Port Department officials. In an effort to prevent price gouging and other issues, posters displaying prices have been erected on the beach.
We have some Defense Force officers that are here working along with the Port Department officers to bring order, to regularize, make sure, check all the vendors that are at this location are operating at the right location. They're in their rotations as assigned by the Port Department when they get their numbers, when they get their authorization letter.
Colby Davis saying stakeholders assisted in beefing up safety and fairness in the industry.
The response today has been very good. We're very excited. We've had a number of meetings, a series of meetings. I'm happy to hear the updates from our meetings that they've now formed an association. Some of the executives were earlier speaking to me and telling me that they're now working with an attorney to put some structures in place to better improve even their industry as business owners, as entrepreneurs. One of the concerns coming out of our meetings for them was be able to make sure that they continue to abide by the requirements of the Port Department.
Well, when Our News Weekend comes back from the break, the Ministry of Tourism Grand Bahama is gearing up for the second annual Food Truck Festival. It promises to be a treat for your taste buds and the entire family. Plus, be prepared to pack your bags for a trip of a lifetime. One lucky customer of a local bank could win an all-expense-paid trip to Tokyo. We've got the details when Our News Weekend returns.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Setamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
They're blue for me and you, and I say to myself, what a wonderful
world. Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Setamol can deal with that fast, yeah. Try Setamol, cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Setamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
The Grand Bahama Food Truck Festival is back for the second year, and organizers say attendees are in for a treat. On June 21st, some 16 vendors will be providing unique flavors and experiences between 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. Coordinator in the Ministry of Tourism, Ava Andrews, shares exactly what attendees can look forward to.
You can expect a day filled with fun, food, a kiddies corner, as well as live entertainment by the Top Tier Band and the Deep South Island Boys Band. So we invite the entire community of Grand Bahama to come on out and support your favorite food truck vendors. Enjoy, engage in the fun and the food. So this year you can expect a total of 16 food trucks ranging from food, dessert, corn. We have a gaming truck also for the kids to enjoy. This year you can anticipate live entertainment. This is something that's different from last year. Last year we would have had DJ music. This year we added 2 live bands, being the Top Tier Band and the Deep South Island Boys Band.
Representatives from 2 corporate sponsors, Lucaya Service Company and the Grand Bahama Power Company, say they are excited to help make the event a success.
We're looking for those individuals to just come out with their family, with their loved ones, spend some time, spend some money. enhance the food truck industry and, just allow people to see the beauty of our culture from throughout food.
We believe that this is a prime example of how local initiatives can not only create opportunity, but also drive a circular economy within our communities. So we applaud the organizers for their vision and their innovation, and we are so happy to be a part of the journey.
Well, we are officially in the summer months, which means it's time to travel the world. A local bank is offering one lucky customer a trip of a lifetime to experience a different culture on the eastern side of the world while creating memories with a companion. And the icing on the cake, it's all expenses paid. Our Danielle Miller fills us in.
Have you ever been to Tokyo before?
No.
So you are sending a customer away to someplace you haven't been either?
No, I only been in Tokyo and YouTube.
Ticket to Tokyo is Scotiabank Bahamas' latest promotion. It gives one lucky winner and a companion an all-expense-paid trip to experience futuristic skylines, cultural wonders, and delicious cuisine for 5 days and 4 nights in Japan's largest city. This does not include your travel time, which means the winner will get to fully immerse themselves in this lavish getaway. The winner will also receive $1,000. On Thursday evening, the bank hosted an exquisite promotional event at Oku Sushi Bar, where we were treated to delicious sushi rolls, desserts, and signature beverages while being informed on how to enter the giveaway. Branch manager Richard Desmangles explains.
For you to win the trip, you will have to be an active holder or user of one of our credit cards. We have the Amex, the American Express. We have the MasterCard Aero Platinum. We have the Visa Classic, and then we also have the Visa Advantage.
Is there a spending limit in order for me to be entered into the contest?
Well, the spending limit, I think it's around $350.
The promotion ends on July 7th, and the drawing is on July 17th. For more information, visit Scotiabank's social media pages or stop into your local branch. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks so much, Danielle. I guess it's time for me to get swiping. Well, still to come on Our News Weekend, honoring the dads of the Our News team, our Joshua Williams shares the heartfelt stories of why we love our fathers and father figures. But first,
we hit the links at Bahamas to support some great causes, and we talked to the head coach of the Blue Wave Swim Club ahead of Nationals. Our Sports Weekend is next.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Setamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
They're blue for me and you, and I say to myself, what a wonderful
world. Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Setamol can deal with that fast, yeah. Try Setamol, cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Setamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Good evening, welcome to Our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. Bahama hosted their annual charity golf tournament, and we were there. Here's how the resort lent a hand to the local community.
This is very much a fun event where people are prepared to give back to the community and support our event and just demonstrate their concern for a grateful business to a grateful country.
That's Robert Sandy Sands, Bahamas Senior Vice President at the 3rd Annual Bahamas Foundation Golf Invitational.
We hope to generate over $280,000 as a result of this tournament today, 100% of which we will give back to the community. This is a way for ourselves and our partners who partner with us in this event to give back to the community, to many worthwhile organizations that really depend on the type of support from the business community.
Those organizations included the Bahamas Cancer Society, the Bahamas Association for the Physically Disabled, the Nazareth Center for Children, the Twilight Home for the Elderly, the Bahamas National Trust, the Humane Society, BARC, and many other important charities that carry out very valuable work. Prizes included hotel stays, restaurant dinners, golf clubs, golf bags, trophies, and gift certificates. But the real prize is helping out our fellow citizens in need. Congratulations to the winners and to the participants and to Bahamas for stepping up and supporting some worthy local causes. Now finally in sports tonight, the 53rd edition of the Bahamas National Swim Championships gets underway this week, and one of the clubs participating will be the Blue Wave Swim Club. Sasha Lightborn caught up with the swimmers at one of their early morning final practices.
1, 2, 3, go blue! 1, 2, 3, go blue!
One of the top swim clubs in the country is the Blue Wave Swim Club. Their home pool is at St. Anne's Anglican High School, and they are coached by Dylan Brown. As the National Swimming Championships are just a few days away, I visited with the team at one of their final practices before the big meet at the Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center. Coach Brown and assistant coach Drew Lightborn spoke about the team's preparation.
We have ramped up our preparation about 3 weeks ago. And, you know, we gave it a test run in the Mako meet to see where we're at before shutting it back down to get ready for nationals. As usual, customer, every year we bring in a sports psychologist to talk to the team, you know, get them on that mental side, race prep, how to deal with anxiety, all those kind of things.
We've been working on starts, turns, finishes, everything, basically. Anything to do with swimming, in and out of the pool.
Last year, the club finished fourth with 940 points. So what's the expectations for this year?
To do better than what we did last year. And at the end of day 4, wherever that takes us, we thank the Lord for it.
And Coach Lightborn says heading into the big meet, the practices rarely change.
You know, with kids, they tend to forget. So repetition is key. So we did nothing new this morning. It's just making sure they do what they already know.
The championships begin on Thursday with the opening ceremony slated for Friday evening. Be sure to tune into the RTV network for live coverage of the evening sessions beginning at 6 p.m. on channels 205 and 212, as well as the Our News and RTV Original Facebook pages. Reporting for Our News, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
Before we go, I'd like to say Happy Father's Day to the dads, granddads, stepdads, father figures, and fathers that stepped up. And Happy Father's Day to my dad, Jose Adderley. He had me playing sports, watching sports, and talking about sports when I was a kid, and I would not be here doing this if it wasn't for him. That's a wrap for sports this week for our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. We're going to do this again next Saturday.
Thanks so much, Tej. On the other side of this break, Dad first, meteorologist second. Ian McKenzie steps into the Weather Center with a look at your Father's Day forecast. Stick with us.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Cetamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
They're blue for me and you, and I say to myself, what a wonderful
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. paracetamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Welcome back and thanks for sticking with us. Perfect weather on the outside to celebrate all the amazing dads in a special way today. But as to what you can expect for the week ahead, here's meteorologist Ian McKenzie with a look at conditions across the country. Ian.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Father's Day Sunday forecast. Currently outside our studio, still on the bright side at 84. Feels like at 89. Winds are from the east at 12 miles per hour. Temperatures across the country, 85 in Freeport, 84 in Marsh Harbor, Great Albuquerque, the capital, 85 continuing in Nichols Sound, and also 84 in Alistown, 83 in Governor's Harbor. Central Bahamas, we have 85s in Camps Bay, a set of 83s in Black Point, Port Nelson as well, 84s in Georgetown, Dedmanski, Arthurstown, 82 in Coburn Town, San Salvador. Southeast Bahamas, 82 in Duncantown, 84 in Delectable Bay, as well as Providenciales, Turks and Caicos, 85 in Colonel Hill, and 85 also in Abrahams Bay. Hotspot again, Matthewtown at 86. Satellite and radar composite at this time. Broad area of high pressure continuing to dominate weather conditions. Little to no rainfall. We may see one or two spotty showers across our area. Looking now at the tropics. Tropics remain quiet as we move into pretty much when we see the first storm. That's around the 20th of June. Hurricane Center is looking at an area possible development right around the southern Gulf around the 19th or 20th of June. For the northwest and central islands, winds will be east to southeast around 10 to 15 knot, seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Excellent boating conditions. High tide at 11:44 p.m. tonight. Low tide at 6:17 a.m. tomorrow morning. Southeast Bahamas winds slightly stronger. We have a caution in place for you boaters, and there is a risk for rip currents for you swimmers. Winds easterly 15 to 20, seas running 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. In your extended forecast, we may see 1 or 2 overnight showers into early morning. Should clear out throughout most of the week. We expect 1 or 2 pop-ups by the weekend again. Those highs hanging around upper 80s, low 90s. Again, stay hydrated, especially if you're outside later this evening or anytime during the week. Your low temperatures still on the warm side, upper 70s, low 80s. That's a wrap on this Father's Day forecast. Just want to say special Father's Day to my dad, Dudley McKenzie, and all the other fathers out there across the sound of my voice and all across the world. That's a wrap on your Sunday evening forecast. Have a great, safe, fun week, everyone.
Thanks so much, Ian. Well, as we continue to celebrate fathers today, we spoke to some of our most recent hires here at Our TV about the impact their fathers have had on their lives and how they'll be celebrating Father's Day today. Our Joshua William fills us in.
A writer once said that any man can be a father, but it takes someone special to be a dad. The same could be said about the men that some of the employees here at Our TV hold dear. For digital reporter Daniela Dorset, both her biological uncle and father have been instrumental in her life.
I think what's most important about the both of them is that they show up every single time that I need them without fail. Especially my Uncle Michael. I can call him at any point in time, no matter what the hour is, and he will find a way to come and show up for me.
For E&G camera operator Tate Bethel, it's time set aside by his father, a former Defense Force Commodore that he values most.
Every time I had something I wanted to talk to him about, no matter the stacks of files of work that he has on the desk, he says, "Oh, sure. What you got? He just brushes everything aside."
And for digital reporter Danielle Miller, it's a bit different. She says while she has a good relationship with her biological father now, it was her godfather that stood in the gap.
My godfather Eddie, he's so dear to my heart. I love him so much. I'm thinking about the fact that to this day, on my birthday, he's still the first person to call me. If it's 12 o'clock in the night, 1 o'clock in the morning, he calls me to tell me happy birthday. He was the first person to buy me my first pair of designer shoes.
And for digital reporter Timothy Timay Bean,
I always knew my daddy was around. Even before it was cell phones, it was pages. I know if I wanted to talk to him, I remember so vividly. I would page his phone just to talk to him. He'd be like, okay, like, and he would always answer. He'd be on the car, fixing the car, and he would still answer the phone.
So how are they celebrating their dads on Father's Day?
Well, my Uncle Michael loves wine, so I've already started looking at some wines that I'd love to get for him. And then my dad, he loves food, so I'm thinking about taking him out for dinner.
Going to church, maybe buy him some non-alcoholic champagne. He doesn't drink.
It's going to be a surprise to my godfather, definitely. I am going to spend some time with my brother, who is just become a dad recently in the last 3 years. And I'm going to spend some time with my godfather and also give my dad some his recognition as well.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for our News Weekend. Once again, we are wishing all of the amazing dads and father figures a wonderful evening. And of course, a very special Happy Father's Day to my daddy, Virgil Shepherd. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.